We're live on the YouTube live this time. We'll see if anybody's out there trying the YouTube instead of the StreamYard. And they've definitely updated it since the last couple years, I think, since I've used uh, YouTube as a live. So we'll see if anybody's out there. Anybody want to talkity talk? We're going to talk about just where we're at with the move and all kind of stuff, and then seeing how all y'all are doing. So I know it's a little early. Most people are probably still at work. Um, yeah, just want to see how everybody's doing. See if we get anybody in the chat. If you don't do, if you don't want to, it's fine. We'll see. It was crispy this morning. Well, this morning was only about 47 degrees. Morning before that, uh, woke us up being in this camper. It was 37 degrees. Had frost on this little outdoor carpet deal we got. That one woke me up about midnight. 37 degrees inside the camper. I was like, yeesh. That was pretty nippy. So we'll see if we can get anybody out on here on the chat. Hopefully, there's somebody out there. I know people watch the rerun. Y'all might want to fast forward too. I don't know, but or I'll just start talking to myself. But anyway, so I hope everybody's doing well as you can in y'all's neck of the woods as normal. And as always, my name's Josh. If you don't know, if you're new here. So anyway, yeah, y'all. So it's what is this, September 3rd, something like that. Um, Somebody's in the chat. September 3rd or something like that. We have, for those that don't know, and I'm probably going to go back and say it again. The house is sold. Yay! Praise God forevermore. The house is sold. It sold, I guess, about a week and a half. I don't even know where we're at now. 2 weeks ago. Kit Kat. House sold probably 2 weeks ago now. So we're over here at my mother-in-law's house. Praise God, they're up here. Or she's up here. So we're able to park in her yard. So you see, like, my wife's truck's there, the boat's there, my truck's behind my wife's truck, and the camper and the house is right over here. So we've been here. We've been here probably for a few weeks while the house was getting showings and everything else. And now we went back to the house to finish up once the showings and stuff was over. Now the house is sold. We're back over here. We've been back here. Hey, it's Mr. Justin. All right. See, Mr. Justin's the first time I'm doing YouTube. I'll make you a moderator too, because I don't. If you don't mind. But anyway, I'm on YouTube Live, Mr. Justin, instead of StreamYard. They've definitely updated this since the last time. I was saying since I've done YouTube Live instead of using StreamYard. But StreamYard's gotten a little different or something when I was trying to log in. And I was like, I'll just try it on the YouTube. But anyway, hey, Uncle Tony. Hope you're doing good. I don't know if I'm trying to click on stuff. Mike, I'm gonna get y'all. Okay, I'm glad the chat's showing now. So hey, Matt and AK. I say y'all, I'm gonna have to learn this YouTube chat. It's different than the StreamYard, how you click on stuff. But no, man, yeah, I just started a little bit ago. I was just kind of talking about what we're doing. No, we're still definitely in AK. I can tell the trees. We ain't got them type of trees in Alabama. But yeah, we're still here. We are. So that's what I was talking about is we're the house is sold. Praise God. So that part's over. That chapter's over. No longer have a mortgage. Praise God. Hopefully don't have never ever again. So we're just we've been living out of our camper even while we had our house, probably for 4 months now, with all our kids and everything, and just to try to keep the house clean when we had it. So we're at I'm at my mother-in-law's house. All of us are, while we're trying to get all the paperwork and stuff done. Hey, Miss Juju, Mama. So glad to see you. Hope you're doing good in Alabama. So we're but anyway, yeah, so we've got all the vehicles going through. Yeah, we said there, Matt. Let's see. I wish I could click on. Why can't I don't know. Maybe I can move the chat. Yeah, Matt says no mortgage. My goal is to never have one. Do all with cash, but I don't have family either. Hey, yeah, man, do it before you can. 100%. I've had two mortgages now at 34 years old, and we have six kids, and yeah, I would never. I've rented twice, mortgaged twice, and yeah, our plan, which is God's plan, hopefully, and I'm sure it is, we're not gonna have a mortgage when we go to Alabama. So whether we live in a camper or something, I don't care. Uh, my wife's on the same page too. We're just done with mortgages. Uh, it's just such a overwhelming thing to have mortgages. So yeah. So yes, Ms. Man, I wish I could click on highlight the chat. I don't know if I can, but Miss Juju said hopefully you'll be here before winter. Yes, amen to that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Uncle Tony said we've been mortgageless for 14 years. That's awesome. Easier to live that camper life where it's not 40 below. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a lot easier to live in a camper in just about anywhere in the States than it is here. I know there's a couple guys that have done it. Sean in Alaska, I used to watch a lot of his stuff. I just don't. I mean, and I'm not on YouTube a whole bunch as I was. And but it's doable, but it's far less doable here when you have 6, 7 months of winter, snow on the ground the whole time, 40 below, 30 below, 20 below. You're gonna burn up a lot of heat and oil to try to keep your camper warm. Um, so anyway, yeah, we're waiting on house is sold, so that's over. Now that we have a little bit of money, we did make some on the house, but it's not enough to pay cash for a place like a full on house or something like that. Even for down there, which they're significantly cheaper down there. Um, it's still not enough, so it's just where we're leaning on God because I have no other way to do it. I can't honestly, I can't even mortgage again if I wanted to, which I'm kind of glad I don't have the option because my credit is shot from doctor bills and stuff that our insurance and yeah, our insurance and Medicaid have tried to got something messed up when my wife had 2 years ago. My wife had blood clots in her brain while she was pregnant with our youngest daughter. I didn't really do much about it. I didn't say a lot about that on YouTube. I just didn't want to everybody to I didn't want to make any kind of clickbaity or I mean it was real, but I didn't felt kind of I didn't want to put it on YouTube. But we went through that, and but ever since that really shot it down because they were saying I had insurance coverage from a job that I no longer worked at from like over a year ago, and then that company didn't carry that insurance for like it was like 3 years after I had quit. They didn't use that particular brand of insurance, and they still said I had that insurance. And it's like I don't know what y'all are talking, and no matter what we could do to prove to we don't have it. So anyway, that just shot our credit down to nothing again. So there's no mortgaging option anyway because I really need that because it's the temptation to just be like I just need a place and I don't care is greater when you have, in my opinion, in my experience, when you have that option and it's still on the table, it's in the back of your head, and it's like, it's not just nice. I don't even have that option. Um, so anyway, yeah, we're just gonna give it to God like everything else because I don't have any other I have nothing else to do. I mean, I can't. There's nothing else to do about it. Um, so we don't have nothing lined up. We do have a really good friends of ours that are gonna let us stay in their yard with our camper. If nothing's lined up by then, if God hadn't revealed open a door for us down there at that time yet, then we have a place there that we can stay, and our kids and their kids can play together, which will be awesome. But yeah, so well, yeah, Matt cases. What? That's a bummer. You'll come back. I wonder if I can. What does this do? Ah, there we go. Maybe I can do that. No, I can't. I can't. Still can't click on it. But at least I can see the chat now. It stays. But you'll come back, God willing. That's a bummer. You'll come back. So you mean coming back to Alaska? I don't know if that's what you mean, Matt AK. Because I have no plans. I have no plans to come back to Alaska. I'm forever good on living in Alaska. It's been a blessing. I'm not taking anything from that. We were very blessed that God allowed us to come up here for 7 years. Um, oh no, come back from the financial trouble. Yeah, um, yeah, but yeah, we were very blessed to come up here. I look at it like a blessing, and there's so many people that, even though they don't know what they're going to get into, I promise you, like we didn't. Most people, 100% of people don't really know what they're getting into if you've never lived here, until you live here and then you put years in. I feel, but it's been an absolute blessing. Totally changed my life, particularly with my relationship with God. And then, but then also, just living here, the hardships we deal with, um, and everything. Yeah, Uncle Tony, if you can live in a camper, maybe. But yeah, I mean, maybe, we'll see. Like I was saying, I mean, we're even buying land is going to be difficult on our own. So that's where it's like I have no other option to trust God on it. So I really don't. So we'll see what happens because He's done it before. I mean, most of y'all know my story how we got here in Alaska in the first place, and how that was absolutely God. That doesn't happen by chance or luck. Absolutely not. And there's been um, numerous things that's happened in my life that nobody could explain. I can't explain. Um, so so anyway, yeah, Juju, Miss Juju, finding you a good church when you get home. Yeah, so we're actually planning. We're gonna go back to our church that was down there in Bay Minette, Alabama. They were amazing. Very similar to the church we go here, Summit Church here in North Pole. Um, Amazing people. Which the church is the people. It's the building's just a building. It could burn down. We could pop a tent out, and that's church. You know, um, we are church. This is the body of Christ. And but anyway, yeah, there's just amazing people in that church. And yeah, Uncle Tony's under finance. Yeah, I mean it possibly. Like I was saying, I'm not even. I'm honest to goodness don't have any worry. We're just gonna go, and I know that God allowed us to go, is allowing us to go back to Alabama. So all this, I was thinking about y'all. It's been a year. I don't know if I've done a ton of videos in this last year. I guess overall I haven't, but it's literally been a year, over a year now since I knew we were working our way towards going back to Alabama. It's been over a year's time since that's happened, and which is pretty crazy. It feels like it's been forever, but then it also feels like it's gone really fast. But it's been a whole year since we've known we were going to be moving back. So finally, it's coming to fruition. It takes time. This one's taking a lot of time compared to like when we came from Alabama to here. That one happened within weeks. That was just wicked fast. This one's taking a lot more faith on in the whole process, which is fine because it's definitely building my faith, and it's um, not not easy, but it's definitely doing that. Matt K says I'm heading south the first weekend of October. Awesome, man. Where are you headed? Um, but yeah, it's been a blessing to come up here, and like I was saying, there's so many people I know that they would love to come up here, to visit, let alone live. So I don't want to take it for granted, even though I know I've been guilty of um, being pretty critical sometimes, just getting aggravated. Buddy of mine, yes, Miss Juju, absolutely, and thank you for your encouragement because I know he does. He's not. If we'd have acted on it, if Miss Juju, I don't know if I see in the chat, it said that God's not sending you back to just drop you. He has a plan, and you're absolutely right. And I feel like as my flesh there's numerous times I wanted to leave Alaska beforehand, and I could have. So many people do. Our Alaska's population's consistently dropped, I think, for at least for the last 5 years, if not longer. Um, and it's a lot of it is just the dark and the cold. The daylight's not so bad. I mean, some people don't have more problem with the daylight, to my understanding, but that for me it was also the dark and the cold. Hey, Mr. Joey, hope you're doing good. But we were gonna stick it out for however long because I know God brought us here, so I wasn't gonna leave. But man, I had so many temptations to want to just go and things I didn't have to deal with like I do. We have to deal with here that you don't have to deal with in the 48 that I took for granted, especially with children. That's the biggest thing for me is with children. Um, and it's not just the winter, and there's just a lot of things that you don't know. I say you won't know until you live here, especially till the new wears off. That's the biggest. There's a lot of people too, because it's the same way. I'm the same mindset. I mean, if you watch any survival shows, when the people dropped off, whatever, and they're all excited, like this is gonna be so sick and awesome, and then the new wears off, and then they're like, oh, I'm starting to get hungry and thirsty, and this ain't as, this is a little not as cool anymore. That's the same thing. I think it's anywhere you move, there's gonna be things that you're gonna be like, oh wow, I didn't know, I didn't anticipate, but it took me at least about 3.5 years or so, 4 years, for the new to really wear off living here, to where it was like, oh, this is this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing is there's a lot of things I was just like, man, I wouldn't, just something you don't see on TV, or you don't hear about it or whatever until you live here. And I run into people that have been here only for like a year or like one winter, and like, oh, this is great. And I said the same thing, but when you do it and you realize how fast summer goes, and everything, it gets kind of discouraging sometimes. I think that's why the population is just continually plummets. It just, um, yeah, it's just different, As Juju said, I'm looking forward to seeing your gardens here. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. However, it's going to be actually much more difficult, um, compared to. I mean, even though it's way longer we can grow there, but man, the bugs. We don't have to deal with the bugs. We're blessed up here tonight. I think all I've ever had is cutworms, and like on one cabbage ever. So we are blessed with no bugs here, because there it's a full-on War 3. Out there with the bugs. But it'll be cool though, because I can still grow so much more stuff, especially like down in Alabama. We got varieties of oranges and lemons and limes we can grow, and peaches and nectarines and plums and all these things that just don't have the ability to grow here. So it'll be cool. And yes, and it's very hot and dry too, for the summertime. But yeah, and then Matt AK said this summer flew by, and it did. And I don't know, like, here, hi Heartland. Hope y'all are doing good. Yeah, Uncle Tony is all too familiar with the bugs. Matthew and Mommy's World. Hey y'all. I don't think I've ever seen y'all here, so thanks for stopping by. Hope y'all are doing well. Oh, so Mr. Joey said I missed the beginning. I'm sorry when you moving up. It's up in the air, Mr. Joey. So yeah, like I was, I was really early on. People weren't in the chat, so I was just kind of going off, just taking off with it. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But since we've sold the house, let me back up. I'm gonna get sidetracked. Since we've sold the house, we've been able to go through the vehicles. There's a lot of things I did a little short. Like one thing on my wife, the starter cable burned out, and I was like, man, I had even prayed to God, like, if there's stuff that's gonna break, let it go and break now. This is why, before I'm in Canada, even though I got the tools now to take care of this and all this kind of stuff, I'd rather it break now than in Canada somewhere, whatever. So anyway, I had that go, but then just doing preventative maintenance now. I'm not messing. We're doing 5,000 miles, over 5,000 mile drive, pulling a 27-foot camper, not a new 27, a lot lighter. The newer they go, they generally get lighter. This is an oldie but a goodie 27-foot camper that's flirting around, I want to say 9,000 empty and dry and new. So she's gonna be she's a little stouter, but thankfully my truck handles it no problem. But it's still 5,000 miles through the Canadian Rockies and all that jazz, and down through this, all that. So I'm just doing the due diligence that I know what to do. Like I just, there's things that I don't want to. There's things you think it's just good to do, and that's taking care of our vehicles. And now that we have the opportunity to actually do more, they were fine for around here, but trying to drive that far, I didn't want to risk, like just something dumb that I could have prevented. So I've done like all the fluids, differentials, transfer cases, transmissions. I got to do the coolant still. But I mean, all the fluids done, new shocks, both of our shocks were blown, brakes, and just things like that I know, that I tend to overlook, but are kind of critical, especially for this kind of a drive, because we're going to be asking so much of the vehicles on the way down. We're asking a lot of them, so I just want to take care of them. Both of them are a blessing. They've been a blessing to us. So, yes, Miss Juju, absolutely covering trip of prayer. Yeah, if you want to pray, I sure appreciate it. And yeah, Matthew and Mommy's World, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Yeah, with y'all, y'all are new here. We live in North Pole, Alaska, and we're going to be moving here soon to Alabama, where we're originally from. We've been in Alaska for 7 years, and we're going back to Alabama. But so yeah, so the biggest thing we're waiting on now is we did our because and also back up, these last 6 8 months living here has been the absolute tightest financially that me and my wife have ever been in Alabama or anywhere in my life. And it's not just, we have 6 kids and stuff. Um, it's just financially, like whenever my wife took the blood clots to the brain, she had the blood clots in her brain. Um, when she wanted to go back to work. I know she only made it about 2 weeks, and I told her, I was like, this ain't worth it. She was a property manager, the head over that, and it's just really stressful, high intense job, and told her to quit. And I went back to work full time. I was doing part time stuff, and I went back full time. But full time jobs here, a lot of them don't pay very well, and I mean, you are near about guaranteed 100% that both need to be working. If you're working in town, both parents need to be working. Well, with 6 children, we can't do that, especially with a lot of smaller ones. And so anyway, I was just working full time, making like 43,000 a year. And like the median household income here is like 75, 80 grand. Um, so we were well below that level, especially with 6 children, and everything. And with hardly any bills, though, I couldn't even pay the mortgage. And God made a way for over 6 months that the mortgage got paid, and I did not pay it for 6 months. I did not physically use any of my dollars to pay the mortgage. Um, but God came through every time. And but anyway, so that's how tight. Like, we could just get some food and utilities, and that was it. Mortgage never got paid. So there's still a lot of believing by faith because, like I said, we don't even know where we're gonna go. I know God's got something for us, but right now it's in that do you trust me phase. We're like, I mean, great thing is we ain't got no other way to, you know, taking us out of the equation. I ain't got no choice, so it just makes it even that much easier because it's like, well, I don't really have a choice anyway, God. So in a way, it's easier. But anyway, so now that we do have a little bit of money, like I wasn't able to go ahead and get our passport cards. So now I didn't know, and a lot of people don't know, going through Canada, you got to have either like a passport card or a passport, and then children. Then Canada's so funny about one guy can say one thing and it's cool one day and it's not the next. But children under 16, I want to say it's 16, can have a birth certificate. So we got all birth certificates except one, and that's Tilly, our littlest girl, which is 15 months old. She's 15 months old. The state never even registered her. The hospital lost her papers, or I see my wife was saying that like I think they lost her paperwork. And you would think, being Fairbanks being the second biggest city in Alaska, would be no big deal. No, because Alaska has a lot of it's still really new. I mean, Alaska is not industrial wise, I would say, or just processes, is way behind other states. I know people knock the South, be like, oh, South's behind. No, the South is light years ahead than Alaska is. And I think it's just it comes with the territory being so far away. Everything we do is in a finite time span because of winter. So it just comes with the territory. It's not nothing against it. It just comes with the territory. But you would think, being the second most populated city in Alaska under Anchorage, that it would be no problem. You could take care of it in Fairbanks. Well, no, that ain't the case. We have to deal with we thought Anchorage, and then they're like, no, you got to go to Juneau. You got to deal with Juneau in it. So the capital, which is next to the coast, which is, has no business, honestly, being the capital. I mean, it's just a horrid spot to get to. Juneau is a flying or boating only type thing. To me personally, it's just, it's not, it shouldn't be the capital, honestly, but whatever. But anyway, we got to deal with that, and they don't have any inclination of when that'll come, her birth certificate. That's the biggest holdup is with Tilly. Tilly's thing because she can't come across the border without her birth certificate. And she's 15 months old. We've been waiting on that um, for that long, and we've been cranking on it here. Obviously, it's closer and closer. Like, hey, didn't realize it was going to take this long to get a birth certificate. But anyway, it is what it is. That's the biggest thing we're praying on is that it'll come. It's gonna come in God's timing. We got the passport cards, and you can do passport cards or passports. So most people know you got passport cards are good for North America. So if those don't know, because I didn't know until like a month ago or 2 months ago, passport card you can travel through North America. So Canada, Mexico, you can come with that. So we could go with the card, which is what we're doing because they also can get that back. We can get that back quicker than the passport book, as we're not traveling anywhere else. We're just trying to get through the States. So we got that, and that should be here 2 to 3 weeks. We've got it expedited. But so really, it's just that. Waiting on that and Tilly's birth certificate. That's the biggest thing that is honestly on the prayer deal for us, is that because we're stuck and on that deal. So but anyway, yeah, like you go in the chat. But yeah, thank y'all so much for prayers, and I thank you, Mr. Joey. I sure appreciate it, sir. We'll definitely let you know. And like I say, thank y'all for the prayers. Yeah, I seen that Uncle Tony that y'all were down there. That's awesome. I should have texted y'all. I didn't even realize you were going. Because I know I messaged Mr. Johnny. I was gonna see if y'all were gonna be if y'all were coming inland anywhere from like a bus or something, that we might have been able to drive over and meet y'all if y'all were coming inland to like Denali or something. We could have maybe meet y'all, but either way, we're gonna come through the States. So when we do. But anyways, just checking the chat. Thank you, Miss Juju, for praying. Yeah, we need all the prayers we can get. But anyway, yeah. So that's just the biggest thing. I know because everybody's been. I know, like I was in Mr. Joey's wife's chat this morning, Miss Ginger, not for nothing Homestead, and she was, oh, what are y'all, and she's awesome. But yeah, so that's all. We're pretty much ready to go. Like to your point, Uncle Tony. Oh, okay. Uncle Tony said they stayed on the ship. Okay. It's a little bit too far of a drive, Uncle Tony, for us to drive for from where we live to there, unfortunately. But we'll get you there. We're coming through. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Darn it. Yeah, so we pretty much seen like tires. My tires were shot. I had my front end was shot on my truck. I mean, a buddy just did the front end a few days ago on my truck. Got new tires on my truck. Like you were saying, I got one new spare right there. Actually, you can see it, that I'm gonna put on the boat, and then I got to get another wheel and tire, and then I'm gonna use those 2 old ones as spares for that. My wife's got a spare in her back of hers. Her tires are still really nice and really good shape on her truck. And then the camper is the other one I got to get tires. I got to get new tires for the camper and a few spares because I've heard so many horror stories about driving through Canada. A lot of times, especially in the mountains. Canada's very similar to us. That's another thing too. Like, people you just don't know until you're here. But like where we live in the interior, dirt and gravel roads are, they're 60, 70. Well, if you got 60% asphalt, dirt and gravel is like 40%. Most people that, like, you have the main road that cuts through, and a lot of side roads are straight gravel and dirt. So your vehicles here catch a lot more, not only because the cold, we go from 60 below to 90 plus above every year. They go through these massive extreme temperature swings, but that, so your entire vehicle's going through that, everything's going through that, and then the roads and stuff are hard on everything too. And so you see, yeah, Matt just drove it too. Matt AK, the road was in decent shape when I drove up in June. The worst spots were actually on the Alaska side of the border. Oh, really? Okay, well, that's good to know. I heard so many horror stories, because Canada is very similar, and like we are. There's areas where it's the main road is dirt. Like the main highway is dirt roads. So you're potholes and sharp rocks and all this kind of stuff. So I know people that have gone through two spares on the same rig because they pop one and go aways and pop one too. And like Miss Juju said, like yeah, we have absolutely tire kits. I've got a couple different ways of air compressors for aired up tires, plug-in tires. I got some power tools and stuff too now. Like I've never had power tools as far as a drill, and I've had like a little tiny, skill saw and a little couple little things this just last couple years, but just cheaper stuff, which they did the job. But this is the first time like I actually have an impact. I've never had an impact driver, like a full impact, half-inch impact wrench, which is a blessing to actually take lug nuts and stuff off way more efficiently than doing a four-way. I've done a four-way my whole life, a four-way tire, I've done it my whole life. But especially driving this with all the kids and dog and cat and everything else, if we can streamline processes to get back on the road, if we do have an issue, it's worth it. And my frustration, which I try to work on, I keep that under check as best I can. I ain't perfect, but anyway, that's all what we got going, y'all. It's just that. So let's see. Matt AK. Let's see, y'all. Matt AK just drove this not too long ago. He said good tires are a must though. Came across a guy in the Alcan this year, had a huge hole in one of his. Helped him change it. His tires weren't the best. Yeah. And I mean, there's some people that do make it on some real janky stuff. And but I just, absolutely, Mr. Juju. Hope I don't need them. I have them, and yeah. Matt says I've done it 7 times. Yeah, and we've had guys like Matt that have done it. Same thing, 7, 8, 10, 12 times. And they'll, I ask them for all what their inputs on what they do, what they carry in their rigs, because Canada is even more, I would to a lot of extent, wild. And there's just Alaska is very similar though, where you have hours worth of driving and you will see nothing or no one. I mean, nothing for hours, no signal unless you got was that Starlink or something? No signal, no nothing, no places for hours, and hours and hours. If you got to go back, you're hopping in the woods, which I have no problem going in the woods, but just saying, and none of my kids do either. But it's still like it's just about as wild as you could get in 2025, as far as just you're gonna go and you're entirely dependent on yourself. Well, obviously God, but it helps to have some due diligence, I would say. And but you obviously get people coming by every now and then, but it's not like it's just so Matt AK says Starlink or InReach too. Yeah, that's very true. InReach would be a good one too. We actually did get a Starlink because that's what we're going to go with internet even when we get down south is Starlink, and they had a really good deal going on at Home Depot for them. They're like half off or something. I don't know. It was half of what they were running anyway. Heartland HQ with Deacon Tank. They said praying for a safe trip for you and Stephanie and the babies and pets. Godspeed. We will be following your journey as you post it. Yeah, I sure appreciate it, y'all. Did you get the mini? Picked one. No, we just got the Starlink, man. I didn't do that, but yeah, we're gonna be posting. I'm gonna have a Starlink. I'm gonna try to post near about every day or every couple days as we drive down, because we'll have Wi-Fi. Just kind of filming what we see, critters and all that stuff. Oh, y'all too, Dink and Take. Y'all have a great, awesome day. Be safe. God bless y'all. We're gonna drive down. Like I say, I'm gonna try to post it just because this is gonna be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I do not plan on driving this ever again. God help me. I hope I don't ever have to, or He don't ask me to. I don't really enjoy driving all that much. I'll do it. I do it better than I ever did living here. You have no choice. Driving a good long ways to go just about anything you want to go do, you got to drive a long ways. So yeah. Oh yes, Miss Juju said portable power supply. Yes, ma'am. So we have a generator. I have also have a solar generator for smaller stuff. A couple smaller things. I might end up getting another little generator. We'll see. I do have one, but I kind of not like having just one. Even though, yeah, we could still manage with that. But yeah, and somebody to the chat. Yeah, Matt, okay, it's an adventure for sure. I love driving it. Yeah, man, there's people that absolutely love that drive. My buddy from Alaska that God put in my path down there in Alabama. He drove it. I don't know, even he's been in Alaska 60 years, and he drove it. I mean, absolute insane amount of numbers of times, and he loves doing it. I'm just not somebody to do that. No, that's why that's just ain't for me. I have to because there's no other choice. That way we can actually bring, y'all can see the boat, which way my finger goes. Yeah. Right there. You can see the antler sticking up. One of my caribou racks in there and everything in the boat. I want to bring that down and not ship all that stuff. So and the boat too. The boat's paid for. That was a huge blessing. We got a really good deal on that for even compared to even Alabama. We paid a really good price for that. Alaska price wise, and even to Alabama price wise, we had a really good deal. God bless us on that boat. And then it just doubles as a U-Haul because you can see the cabin on it, which is watertight, and then I have storage all the way to the bow. There's a deck right there, right on the top of that boat. That's 6 foot, and then that's almost 8 foot, and then you got the rest. The whole boat's 20, but we have storage all under that, and then all in there, and then of course anything that can get rained on or whatever is in the back, or we can put some on the bow too. And also that there's a pile of tarp looking stuff. That boat, because a doctor had it, so doctor's money. He had a custom made tarp boat cover, sewn boat cover made for that with the cabin sewn on it. So when we pull it down, it's got a fully covered um, tarp made by Alaska, tarp and tent, or tent and tarp, for that as well, that I'll put on there just to kind of protect it from rocks and junk flying on it and mud, because vehicles are going to get absolutely nasty on that road going, especially through Canada. So yeah, let's see what a couple people. Yeah, boats are expensive. Now I will say it depends on, because that's one thing. My whole life in Alabama have been boats. Now we've done some jank boats that were in the $100 range, and you just expect to work on them, But the difference is there in Alabama versus here is a janky boat here. You could absolutely kill yourself and everybody in that boat if you go off into a sweeper or a log jam or something, because the current here is insane. Versus there, if you break down, you just drift down the water and with the tide and just flag somebody down and then just pull you back to the boat launch. So it was like, yeah, no big deal. We broke down. It was like, whatever. We fix it. We couldn't fix it on the water. Then we just flag somebody down. My whole life as a little kid, all the way up. It's like no big deal. They're here. You can literally die. People do every single year here, unfortunately, on boats. Every year here die because a lot of it's boat motor problem. Boat motors break. The current so fast pulls you right into a sweeper, which is a tree down in the water. Boat hits that, water goes up the side into the boat and gone within seconds. I know way too many people that they know people or have been in the boat when it happened. It's just insane. It's just something that we never dealt with. I never dealt with in Alabama. It's just mind-boggling to me. Like, we used to fish around that kind of stuff down there, but it's because there's no crazy current. It's just different. It just comes with the territory, being in mountain, high mountainous areas that are glacier fed and all this kind of stuff. It's just two different worlds. Is why. But anyway, yeah. But yes, boats are very expensive. They can be really expensive. Yeah, Matt AKC, you'll be fine. Take it slow. Move over semis and trucks. Yeah, fill up at half tank. Season, so some places will start closing soon. Plenty will be open along the way. Okay, awesome, man. Yeah, I would love to not be driving through snow, ideally. Even though we've been doing it for 7 years up here and on snow and ice, I'd still rather not. I know it freaks my wife out a little bit just because we're pulling so much and everything, that freaks us out a little bit more. And also, like, we're at 3 years now, 4 years now. We lost my father-in-law up here on ice roads. We had a really, really bad winter where it actually thawed out for like a week. We got rain and then it froze, and then it stayed back at 20 below and 30 below and 40 below. And a state trooper that was running late was speeding on the road and lost control and hit them head on, and that was it for my father-in-law. So it got a little bit more of a, with ice roads, it's all, we've never looked at them the same way again ever since that situation. Even though he did everything he could to get out of the guy's way, that was just his time. But so that always is kind of in the back of our heads. It's just, that's why we're a little bit more apprehensive on the snow and ice roads than we used to be. But yeah, that was probably 4 years ago, I think now. But anyway, yeah, so we're just hoping we can drive and get out of here, Lord willing. But yeah, Mr. Joey said hope to go fishing with y'all when y'all get hey down. You know exactly where y'all were down in our neck of the woods in Alabama. So when y'all we absolutely go fishing, man. We'll go do some limb lining, catfish, big old catfish. I'm talking big catfish and crappie fishing. I mean everything fishing, crabbing, shrimping. I can't wait. Can't wait for my kids to experience it. It's two different worlds. It is apples and oranges. It's not fair to compare them because it's apples and oranges. There's nothing similar in any way, shape, or form here to there. Absolutely none. So anyway, yeah. But I would love to have y'all down. You and Miss Ginger, if y'all want, more than welcome to come down. I'll take y'all on boat rides and go fishing. And if it's hunting season, come hunting too. So that would be awesome. Anybody and everybody, all of y'all. Uh, yeah, Matt, I can't imagine your motor braking on the Yukon or the Copper. You do the Copper. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the Copper River is the absolute scariest, deadly river I have ever seen in person, and I think even on TV. It would rival. I know there's some South America that are wicked, but if y'all have never seen, I did a video. It was the last year, I think. And the title was "If Fishing Was Called Catching, It'd Be Something Like This." That's the Copper River. If y'all want to watch it, I go back and even watch it because it's just like, dude, that river has killed seals and stuff that get up in there. The seal can't even come out of that because the current is so bad and gnarly. And unfortunately, people die in that river every year, fall off the bank, and you are 99% guaranteed never coming back up and gone. It is absolutely insane. That river is, and that's where you get most of your salmon. Most people I know go to dip net, and that's what we did, dip netting for salmon. But it comes with a cost that you better respect the absolute snot and do what cross your T's and dot your I's, because that is the sketchiest river. I don't want nothing to do with that river. Mine, it's on the bank, and I couldn't imagine breaking down on that. I've heard plenty of horror stories of that happening. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Yes, Miss Juju, definitely makes me more careful. Mr. Justin, I bet you can't wait to go hunting. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait to take my kids. Um, Again, it's so different, and like honestly, y'all, like most of y'all from down south or in the south, that's one thing I took for granted. Like growing up down there, it was no different. It was just whatever. But we have so many animals, game to hunt, and so many of the animals to hunt and fish. But I took for granted, and then coming somewhere that doesn't have that. I know it's kind of like some people are like, oh, I can't believe. I'm like, dude, I can just tell you from going out, and even the state fish and game, you can look up and be like, statistically speaking, you have less than a 10% chance to kill a bull moose in this state. Less than. And so if you're somebody that like ourselves that prides themselves of hunting and fishing from the land, and wanting to make your freezer is 80% of your diet, 80, 90, or 100% of your diet is coming off the land, it's extremely difficult to do here. I mean, like the salmon, the kings, they're probably going to be on the endangered species list the way they're acting, because like there's just not many of them anymore. The kings are all but gone. Even the native villages, they're told not to keep them because there's just not many left. And according to the whatever, but I mean, I know from like guys that have lived here their whole life, 20 years ago, like my pastor's been here his whole life. He's 50 years old, and he would go dip netting 20 years ago, and he'd catch so many kings that he's just throwing them back. I mean, you could keep however many you wanted, and he wanted the red salmon, a lot of those, and he'd be throwing kings, throwing them back, throwing them back. He's like, man, I used to catch so many kings 15, 20 years ago. And now when we went, we caught 155 salmon dip netting. We caught 2 kings. Out of 155 red salmon, we caught 2, which we had to throw back. So it's not, and it just comes with the territory. I'm not knocking Alaska. It's just cold. I mean, we're close to the Arctic Circle. I mean, we're talking like within 100 miles or if that of the Arctic Circle. It just comes with the territory. Versus when you're close to the equator, everything's it's more easily stuff for animals and critters and plants and stuff to grow when you're by the equator. Just anywhere you live. I don't care if it's in, Africa country or whatever country, in my opinion. Um, So it's just different. But I took it all for granted. I didn't realize, what we had. It's, like saying you don't know what you have till it's gone. It's, oh my goodness, it's right. I didn't know what we had till it was gone, and still trying to make it work like it was Alabama, but it just don't. And then with children, that's the biggest thing. Is in my experience with kids, when the weather's hard, and then on top of that, you don't shoot anything, but let alone not see anything. Time after time after time after time, when they go and it's wet, cold, and miserable, and you don't even see a critter, time after however many times you go, eventually they go, why do we even do this? There's nothing here, right? It's discouraging. And unfortunately that's been my experience for your average Joe guy that works in a 10-hour job and has limited time and limited resources. That's what it's like. What you see on TV is guys that have tens of thousands of dollars to throw at going to kill a moose. And they will go kill a moose. If you spend 10, 20 grand, your odds significantly go up, because you're able to fly out or take a 100-mile boat ride, or whatever, and get so far out that most people can't compete with that if you drop the money. But your average Joe guy that's only got a limited time, a little bit amount of limited money, young kids, it's extremely difficult for your average guy to harvest. I don't like saying harvest, I like to say kill anything, big game wise. Whereas like down there, it's again, I'm not comparing it. It's just apples to oranges. It just comes with the territory. We're down there, like Alabama is like top 3 highest deer population in the country. And whereas, and like the biggest thing Alaskans are like, oh yeah, deer are so small, moose are so much bigger. And I like to say, if is as big as the moose. If you get a moose, then yes, they're bigger. But in Alabama, we can hunt deer for 4.5 months straight. Okay. We can only at best hunt moose during the rut, we can only hunt 25 days. At best, maybe 26. That's it. During the rut, that's it. You get 26 days to make it happen. Hope you get it done because you got another 365 to wait for 25 days. So it just gets really discouraging, if you go and go and go and go and go and don't get nothing, don't even see anything, but it just comes with the territory, it's just, I think it's a big common misconception that TV makes it out something that it's not. I don't care, because we're actually, where we live in the interior is better moose hunting, according to the big guys, than anywhere else in the state. I've actually ran into, what was that guy's name? It was Alaska Channel, fairly, an Alaskan Dream or something like that. He's in Juneau. I ran into him like 4 or 5 years ago at a military surplus store. I heard his voice and I was like, man, that sounds familiar. And then he got a big old beard. And I was like, oh man, you're from, whatever. And they don't have hardly any moose in Juneau. So they got deer, they got blacktail, but they'll come up here to go hunt caribou and moose. So anyway, it's just kind of funny that they do that. But anyway, let's see if anybody's. Oh man, I see the chat's not showing me stuff anymore, y'all. I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah, Mr. You're welcome to the property anytime. We have a nice lake down the street from us, and deer on the property. Yeah, man, y'all got a really, really nice setup. Daggum Yellow Jacket, get out of here. I really appreciate it. Mainly Off Grid. Hello all. Hello, Mainly Off Grid. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, Madden AK says, yeah, you love Alaska, but if you want to farm and hunt for all your food, it really isn't a good place. Yeah, and it comes with territory. I mean, like, yeah, Uncle Tony, Santa Claus does live in my town. But yeah, the biggest thing, like I say, for Alaska, for people, if you really love 4-wheeler riding, side by sides and stuff like that, absolutely Alaska is going to be number one, because we have so much public land. It's insane that you can just take a 4-wheeler and drive off, and you can go 100 miles on an old trail one way easily, and not see the same thing twice. You can just drive. That's cool. Now for me, my whole primary focus is to kill stuff. So I don't care how much land you got. If there's nothing on it, I really don't care how much land you got. But just for riding, it's absolutely a great time. Don't get me wrong, though. I mean, the public land here, I mean, you definitely feel the freedom of that because you could just go. So that is really, really cool. And I mean, obviously, I support Alaska. I always say, yeah, I got this is Resident Hunters of Alaska club, or it's a nonprofit organization that fight for resident rights for hunting. It's a real good group. But anyway, yeah. Miss Juju says, "I'll take our warm weather and bugs." Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, Matt, AK, yeah. Either money or your own airplane, which needs a lot of money. Yeah. For hunting and stuff here, y'all, like the guys that I've talked to, they're like, dude, what are you talking about? Hunting here's so great. And then I'm like, well, what do you do? Oh, I fly a plane. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I would hope it's really good, man. I mean, it's like significantly better when your plane costs as much as my house. You know, a beat up old Piper Cub from the 60s is 200 grand, you know? So it's like, sure, it's going to be awesome. I could fly over, you know, and just, you know, you can get out of the way from everybody, you know? Yeah, a plane opens up all kind of stuff, but it also costs an insane amount of money to do, you know? So it's just, you know, for me, it's like cost benefit, you know what I mean? It's got to be cost benefit. So anyway, yeah, it's just, you know, if you're willing to throw the money, you have it. Do it. I mean, you do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just saying, in my experience as a father of 6, a husband, and you know, a Joe Schmo, poor, you know, redneck dude, it's difficult. You know, real difficult to fill a freezer. You know what I mean? You can do the salmon fairly okay. Salmon's pretty good. I'll give Alaska that. You can do that. It's not something I take my kids to, which is a bummer because that river is absolutely insane. Freezer, you know, so there's ways to do it, you know what I mean, but the big game hunting that you see on TV is a ruse. That's a lie. I mean, as far as if money's if money's a concern, is a lie. If money's not a concern, that's 100% accurate. So, you know. Hey, Mr. Bill, hope you're doing good. Glad to hear from you. Sorry, I need to get up on your videos, Mr. Bill. I haven't been watching YouTube near as much as I generally do. Yeah, Uncle Tony, yeah, simply live in Alaska. I don't follow I have watched their stuff in the past, but they're in the different tax bracket. Let me put it that way. A much bigger tax bracket than I am, and all power to them. Like, I have not taken anything from them. They got it, do it. But they're in that tax bracket. Just put it that way. They're in the way higher tax bracket. Because caribou season is again horrid for your average Joe here, the quota, because we are quota. A lot of the state is quota hunting. It's not you got this date to this date to hunt. There is a lot of that, but there's also quota. So if the quota is filled in a day, it's done. If the quota is filled in a week, it's done. If it's in a month, and you don't ever know, it's still whenever it's done. Well, like caribou hunting, majority of the people that caribou hunt, it's a quota for the most part of it. The bulk of it are the ones that your average Joe guys go out for. And it's been the 4th year in a row that it's been 400, or roughly around 400 caribou for over 10,000 people plus that go out there easily, which a lot of them have $30,000 side-by-sides, $10,000 four-wheelers and stuff. And we've killed, before it dropped off, the quota did, we killed a few. I mean, I think we've killed 7 caribou since living in Alaska. We've killed 7, so it's been a blessing. But the last 4 years, I haven't killed any, because for your average Joe Smo guy, most people haven't, because the quota's been so low that it's filled literally in a week. Like, you have 365 days to go back to caribou hunting. You've got 1 week to make it happen. Then it's over. You know what I mean? So it's just a bummer, you know, I mean, for your average guy. But yeah, I mean, they can do it. And like I say, if you got enough money and gear and equipment and no children, also makes a big difference. Yeah, you can do it. But your average people that are having to both work and stuff, it's not realistic. You know, it's something for other people, you know, which is fine. That's what other people can do it. I'm not taking anything from them. So, yeah, Mr. Bill. Yeah, we don't rich Bill Hung, believe. Yeah, it'd be nice. In a way. I say it in a way. In a way, it'd be nice. Sometimes it's not. But yeah, like Mr. Bill said, those big game trips can cost over 20K, and easy 20K. So yeah. Uncle Tony, yes there are. Yeah. Hey, it's a Matt Gwitchin's wife, my bro. Honestly, hey, no, we would let you know if we were gone. I promise you, Shay. Um, we are. I'd say earlier, we're still waiting on passports. We're waiting on Tilly's birth certificate from the state. So it's been a rough go. I hear a crying kid, and I think that's one of mine. I think that's an Ike. Ike, what's wrong?
I think it's tired and hungry. I'm not sure.
Oh, it's fine.
Crying.
I'm on YouTube. I'll get him. I'm on YouTube. I'll get him.
Okay.
Steph's in there.
All right.
Ike, come on. Emma, he's okay. Just let him be.
I don't know. He's hungry.
He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want a snack.
It was a snack?
No, he doesn't want a snack.
Okay, well then just let him be. Ike, you want to say hi to the people?
Ike, look, Dada's making a video.
Yeah. He's fine. Let's see. And it is the hunter. Mr. Bill says it's the hunter's responsibility to know when the quota has been met and stop hunting. Yes. Yes. And otherwise, we get literally you lose your truck, lose your license, lose your gun, lose your. They are very fast on snatching everything you got. Matt AK 20,000 will buy a lot of beef from the store. Yes, it will, and it's guaranteed. So that's why we started. I mean, honestly, why we started raising our own meat was just because it was the only way that I could get a reliable meat source that I knew where it came from. That's why I raised rabbits and quail and chicken and stuff, because that's the only way. Like, it was the next best thing to hunting, which I'd rather hunt. But raising animals was the next best way. I'd much rather let God raise it in the woods, and then I just go shoot them. But I didn't have that option here. Yes, Shay's a God. Yeah, Ike and Emma. It is God's timing. Like I say, we're waiting on Shay. We're waiting on our passports. Now that we have a little bit of money, a little bit. I say we don't have a lot. We have a little bit of money. We got our passports. Working on vehicles. Still waiting on Tilly's birth certificate. So maybe we can see y'all one more time at least before we go. But yeah, it's definitely not on God's timing. We've been living in our camper for over 4 months now. So praise God we have a mother-in-law here. We're able to park in her yard. But yeah, so it's just been, this is the tightest we've ever been financially in my life. In the last 6 or 8 months has been the tightest ever since we've been on our own since I was 18. Absolutely the tightest ever. So it's been a lot of a good trusting God, I tell you. I mean, especially when you're at bottom, there's only one way to go, is up. So, yeah. So, and she said my arms are burning. We processed the whole moose yesterday, so we usually take a couple days, but we had to do it, all of it, because hubby has meetings to go to. Oh wow, yeah, y'all were working your tails off. I know. I can't imagine. I know y'all were tired. So yeah, y'all check out Enigmatic Gwichin. That's my bro from another mother. That's his wife right there, EG wife. I wish I could pop the chat up. I haven't figured that out on here. But you take him to mama, babe. I don't know. Ike, you want some gummies? Go get some gummies. You can get some in the house, okay? Yes, he needs some diamond. He needs something. Poor Ike. It's just so hard to be a 3-year-old. So anyway, y'all check out. Look, Enigmatic Gwichin. He just got done. He just got a moose out there in their village. They live 200 miles north of Fairbanks, plane or boat in only, or a really, really long snow machine ride in the dead of winter, which I wouldn't recommend. And you can only go there if you're offered that. You can't just drive up, so don't do that. But they have a very awesome, very blessed place they have out there in North Alaska. So definitely check him out. Check his channel. He did some lives here recently with big old moose. Oh, okay. Mr. Bill say pop-up chat onto the screen. Third-party software like StreamYard. Okay. What, Mama? Mama? What? You got food in there? Mama. Come here. Come here. Mama. Come on. Come on, Mama. Want to see the peoples? Come on, Mama. There, Mama. Hey, Mama. Hey. It's a good mouser. It's a good mouse catching cat. The Joker get a mouse about 3 a day. he definitely provides. Yes, he does, and it's 100% faith on trust on him. Miss Juju, yeah. So still so far, and nothing's changed. So we've I know I've said it before. I thought, but maybe you may not have caught it, and it's totally good. So I've actually God lined up a job for me last November. Um, my when my wife told no, this is 2 Novembers. Where are we at? No, last November. Um, my no two I don't over a year ago. Yeah, it had been a year ago. When my wife called her aunt and told her everything that happened, God, all the signs that God showed us that we could go back to Alabama. I said it's been a year, y'all, since we knew we were gonna be going back to Alabama. We're just now past a year, and but that November, it happened in August, then November, um, my wife had, or maybe it was November, I don't know. It was that August time frame. My wife called my aunt, called her aunt, told her what happened, and she's bawling her eyes out that we're coming back, and it was just moved her a lot. Well, my aunt owns a probably the most famous or well known bait and tackle store in South Alabama. I would argue that's probably the most famous. One of the last ones too down there, and so when she told her that, she was like, you know what, actually, I'm gonna have my bait and tackle store paid off free and clear, and I'd like to get a shrimp boat to catch shrimp for the guys fishing. Fishing is huge, huge down there, like way more than here. I mean, not even it's just you have more time to do it. You know, it's just nicer weather, so it just comes with the territory. Um, but so she told my wife, she's like, how would Josh like to be the captain of that shrimp boat? I'm like, you ain't got to tell me twice. Shoot, yeah. So, because that's my whole, like, God put that hard on me in being on the river and in the water. God put that passion in my heart, just by harder than anything else. So, it's an absolute blessing to be able to make a living on the water. So minus catching shrimp for bait, it's the same shrimp you can eat. We just use them for catching fish. And what's nice is if you don't catch any fish or you do catch fish and you got some left over, you just boil them and eat them. You can just eat the same shrimp you eat. Um, but also catching other types of bait and stuff, minnows and fiddler crabs, any kind of bait like that we can sell. So yeah, kind of going in together to work there. So that's literally a dream come true. I've always said that I give it to God that if something changes, then that's fine, because that would be a dream job for me. But if that's not what He wants, then I'm not gonna do it, or He'll change it, you know. But it's been over a year and nothing's changed. And I actually just talked to my aunt yesterday, and I felt bad because I was hoping to be there by now. This is the time of year too; it's really kicking off. Fall time fishing really starts. More people start kicking up, going more and more, and she's super cool and she's understandable. She's like, I know it's y'all get here when you get here and everything. But so that's that's what we have lined up. As far as God lined it up, is being able to make a living, which I did my own, like, kind of a part time gig. I had a freshwater commercial. I had a freshwater commercial license in Alabama for some years, and I did commercial catfishing. And then I used catfish boxes and limb lines to sell catfish, just to kind of make a few $100 a week or whatever on the side. And then it got me on the water more, and the kids, which is the biggest thing. And that's what's great about this job, is I'll be able to take my children with me, and because that's my biggest thing, is everything we do, I want them to be included in on it. I want them to experience the woods, the water, all that. And so anyway, it'd just be a blessing to have them. They'll be homeschooled, so they can be out there with me on the boat, and shrimping and or catching bait and whatever we're doing. So that'll be really awesome, and that's just a dream come true for me, to a job like that, to do something that like they say, do something you love, you never work a day in your life. So I'm really excited, and it's an absolute blessing to be able to do that. So, but yeah, so that's what we got job wise. As far as it's still been the same, is that. So that will be just an absolute blessing. And then for people too, like like all of y'all on here, if y'all are in my neck of the woods and I can, y'all can come along for a boat ride and go shrimping with me if you want. And Just do a little go shrimping and run some nets and traps and stuff like that in Mobile Bay, which is actually so my hat. This is Mobile Bay. We live at the head of it. This is the bottom of Alabama. Alabama's up here. This the bottom, lower Alabama, and this is Mobile Bay. This is between 7 and 10 or 12 miles wide right here. We live at the head, and her shop's right there, and then I'd shrimp this whole bay. But I also got blue crab. We got, I mean, all kind of stuff, oysters and all kind of stuff that you can get. So it's just an absolute blessing. So that's the job so far, so that we know. So yeah, that'd be a blessing. So yeah, Bubba Gump. Mr. Bill says Bubba Gump bait and tackle. Yeah, yeah, I know. Thank you, Miss Juju. Yeah, Captain Josh, that'll be awesome. I might give me a pirate flag with like a shrimp, shrimp across it though instead of a skull. Be out there on my little shrimp boat out there, that'll be awesome. Like I say, and then big old shrimp, them big ones, them go in the ice chest. Them we gonna eat them. The smaller, medium ones, that's for the bait shop. Little ones, so that'll be a blessing to do. And then that's what I'm saying. We'll try to stay as debt free as we can. I'm not. There's no way to mortgage anything, which I'm happy. My wife's more than happy to live in a camper, and really believing God's going to open up something for a piece of land for us that I can't afford. So that's 100% on him. So and I know he can do it. So, but yeah, so that's the plan. Mr. Bill, I would go noodling catfish over with Mr. Johnny somewhere in Oklahoma where they ain't got quite so many snakes and alligator snapping turtles and a whole bunch more critters that we have down South Alabama. And go with a guide. I would go with a guide. I don't blame you. I want to do that too. I've done it in Alabama, but then you start getting leery when it gets dark in these dark holes. And I've caught in some snapping turtles that literally their head was the size of my head. Honest to goodness. And take your hand clean off. So the guys that do that for a living in Oklahoma, the guides that do that, I would go with the guide. I'd let him put his hand in there to make sure it's a fish. That way you come back with your fingers too, because beavers get in them holes and snapping turtles and cottonmouth moccasins. So let him put his hand in there, and then he's like, "Yeah, it's a fish." I'm like, "All right, we're good." But it would be fun. I love catching them on lines, but it would be cool to grab one straight up that's fresh. So I'm with you. Mr. Ashley, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Oh, Shay, all right. Y'all have a great one. Thanks for stopping by. Mama Duties, I hear you. I will definitely. So glad to see y'all or hear from y'all. Yeah, I might do that. Be like, every now and then. Or do like, we want to get fancy. Do like, Deadliest Catch, and do the Sig Hansen. You take that herring, bite his head off, that'd be cool. So I'm looking forward to it. That'd be stinking awesome. Yeah, Mr. Bill. So yeah, I thought you were buying your old house back. I thought we were, but it's not gonna happen. There's no. I mean, I know. I figured. It's been some months that I realized we're not gonna have the finances to do that, and so it's just not really. That's not on the table no more, and that was kind of wishful thinking, I guess, in that way. But then it turned out like, nope, that doesn't look like that's what's gonna happen. So no, we're not. Yeah, which is I really like that place, but I just believe in God for even a better place. Even if it's just a piece of land to sit the camper on, I'll be more than happy and blessed with that. So, but yeah, no. Yeah, Mr. Justin's, I think I'll catch mine with a pole. Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, Mr. Bill, you Hannah Barron, she goes Newland. Yep. And they do, and that's where they, at least what I look to watch. I don't watch some of the stuff I've seen and heard. Most of it, they're in Oklahoma, or Kansas, out that way. I know they do. I know people that do. I've seen a couple guys that do it. I'll say kind of professionally, I guess, down where I live. But again, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that. I know of all the critters that we got in the water, and I don't want to learn the hard way like some of them guys that wave at you, and it's like, how you doing, brother? Because they're half their fingers gone because there was a beaver in there or a snapping turtle or something. They come out, with a bloody nub. I'd have to go with somebody that knows what they're doing. So, but yeah, that's this is me. I'm not yeah. So, but anyway, well, I've been on here an hour and 10. Um, if y'all got any questions, yes, Miss Juju, you got to run to work since it got to get done since the canner stopped. I hear you. Good for you. Yeah, you have a blessed day. Be safe. If anybody else got any questions for me, I'm gonna probably get off here. I got to go do a trash run to the transfer site. Like I said, I know I said before we don't have trash service. They do in town. A couple little places do, but most people here, you have to take your trash, like your daily household trash. You take it to called a transfer site that's just got like 50 dumpsters in it. It comes out of your property taxes. God knows how much we pay for that. I don't know. But yeah. So hey, my brother, Mr. Dale, how you doing, sir? I'm so glad you stopped by. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bill. I appreciate it. God bless y'all. But yeah, if y'all got any more questions, shoot them to me. So I think that's pretty much everything. Like I say, we're oh, still at work, Mr. Dale. I hear you. What time is it there? What is it? I don't know. I got my phone. Um, take care, Mr. Justin. God bless you too, and your family. Um, yeah, if y'all got any more questions, I'm trying to think of anything else. We went hunting. My kids have been very adamant on wanting to go duck hunting, so we went. Okay, Mr. Bill. I shouldn't said any question. Nah, good one though. Kids want to go duck hunting. I wasn't really going to, just because we've been going on fixing stuff and getting ready, but they're so adamant on going. I'm like, all right, we're going. I'm not gonna squander their desire to want to go duck hunting out before we leave. So we went duck hunting. We kill. We didn't kill any ducks this last. We went 2 days ago. Seen some. It's hard to get the littler ones want to fidget a lot, so I got to work on the blind to get it to where the ducks can't see us because they'll flare because they just can't stop moving, which is their kids. Or they want to point at them, look, there's ducks, and then the ducks see their hand go up, and then so I have to be like, y'all can't point at them, just try to sit still and like just tap me on the leg or something like there's ducks, But it's all comes with trial and error. But they just they they definitely want to shoot some, but we're working to that so they don't flare them. But we were going duck hunting, and then like yesterday, Emma shot her a squirrel with a little 410 shotgun. I got him, and a little pump. I got it over here, but I don't know if you two. I think they flag you for it if you put it on the live. But and yeah, Luke shot a snipe, and yeah, we did a good old gun shoot. Yesterday, gone out and shoot some guns and stuff. Get out there shooting. Luke shooting 20 gauge, and just practicing. So we're gonna try to do some duck hunting. I'm gonna film some. I filmed some, but I just like it was raining all the whole time, and rain's hitting the tarp and everything else, and it's just loud. So I'm probably not gonna put that one up. I got a little clips I might put on shorts or something, but hopefully I have a good film where you can do a duck hunt or two filming. Duck hunt's a little kind of hard to do, in my experience, unless you have somebody really good at cameraing. So but anyway, so yeah, if that's all y'all, yeah. So I don't even know how you get out of this thing. But y'all, thank y'all so much for stopping by. I think that's it. I'll try to put some videos up. I'll have some shorts up here probably here soon. So, as always, thank y'all so much for stopping by. Thanks for thinking about us and praying for us. Need all the prayers we can get. And, yeah, so we're praying for y'all. Y'all are such a blessing. And, hit the X at the top. All right, Brother Dale, I appreciate it. And, thank y'all again. Y'all be safe. Have a blessed rest of your day. And we love you. And God bless. And if I can figure out, I don't see an X up here. Pushing buttons. Nope. That one? Nope. Not that one. Well, I'll say God bless, but I'm just hitting all the buttons now. Yeah. Nope. Nope, I don't want to share it. Y'all, I think we might be live forever. Because I'm just pushing stuff now. Let's see. I don't know what. It won't flip around either. I've rocked it back. Y'all get all the. All right, Uncle Tony. Touch base. Yes, sir. I said I'll be filming it all. Be filming it all when we go. Come on, phone. Nope, I don't want to do that. Oh, there we go. Bye.